fire. Every replay, every stand-up fight, felt it together on race night. Every night that the legends lead, all the underdog, every winning streak. From hometown heroes to the final line, we hold on till the end of the fight. When the string goes down, the echoes remain. Another chapter written in speed and fame. If you live for the more than the racing truth, virtual grip network. That's you. Sign of faith, but the passion stays. Another race in the broadcast haze till the lights go green and the mics ignite. Virtual grip network grips the night.
We are live on the Virtual Grip Network. I'm Zach Chapman, a.k.a. Shaggy, along with my partner in crime, Jeremy Gridlock Scott, for Race 8 of the Bootleg Racing League SteelCraft Structures Super Late Model Series. SteelCraft changes lives through excellence, leading the steel structure industry in quality and service while following Christ as our guide and sharing his light. Whether you need a carport, garage, workshop, barn, or a commercial building, SteelCraft is here to help you build with confidence. To get started or for more information, please visit steelcraftmetal.com or call 980-434-5400. When you do reach out, please mention the Bootleg Racing League or the SteelCraft Structures Super Late Model Series and receive up to 15% off of your structure. Last week, the gang rolled into Virginia where we would see a driver claim victory lane for the first time this season. Chris Worrell started P1 and looked to be the dominant car in the early stage, but as we approached lap 50, the sparks started to fly for the lead. Harden had his sights set, and as soon as he saw the gap, he went for it. Full send into turn 1, resulting in some contact that would allow Jeff to take the lead. About 2 laps later, Chris tried to return the favor going into turn 3. He gave Jeff some contact to move him up the track, but they would meet again coming out of turn 4, resulting in a costly spin for Chris Worrell. Jeff had survived, but the war was far from over as he had the point leader James Lowe right behind him with 50 to go. Harden would prove too tough to tame, though, for Lowe, as he would hold on for his first victory of the season. With only 4 races to go in the BRL SteelCraft Structures Super Late Model Series, James Lowe holds a commanding 39-point lead. Will we see that margin shrink or expand as we head into the new Smyrna Speedway? Jeremy, we've been watching practice here, man, and with these high banks, higher track temperatures, cars are sliding around, and man, we could have our hands full tonight in Florida.
I think we're going to is, this 23-degree banking really making a little bit of ruckus out there. And look, at the ambient temperature, 73 degrees, the track temp about 78, 79 degrees. So we'll see what happens here tonight, but I'm not too hopeful that we won't go flag to flag without a caution. I think we're going to have multiple cautions under our belt tonight unless these guys can really keep the car pointed forward.
I'm sure Ryan has the graphic. I forgot to ask him, but I talked about our point lead. Let's take a look at the points. I mean, not so much going on, obviously, there up at the top, but you can see second and third, still a close battle, Liston 9 points back, and man, Flowers, Smith, Wilson really just sharp. I mean, we could see 2 through 7, change in a matter of weeks here.
Really good, but look at the big jumper. Jeffrey Harden up 8 after that win last week at South Boston. So, anything can happen unless somebody can finally beat James Lowe off the top. The way that he's been running 5 wins on the season, I do not see that happening.
And really, it's going to, I think, Jeremy and I had kind of talked about it, racetrack slippery, starting in the back of the field tonight. I mean, obviously, Harden won last week. Going to have to start 13th if everybody shows up. James Lowe, the outside of row 6, P12. That is, they're going to have to buckle up tight here, Jeremy. And is it one of those things? Do you try to, go right away from the drop of the hat, or do you maybe slow her down and, let some bodies fall in front of you?
Well, we see Tom Hilbert spinning again, and there, there's more spinning behind the graphic. Good thing you guys can't see that. I would just let the race come to me at this point, because look, it's one of those races where the bankings are high, and it's going to be absolutely tough to get things going around. So,
well, you can kind of see there in the background, cars coming to a stop. It's because the checkered flag has waved on warm-ups, and we will get ready to bring you tonight's starting lineup here at the new Smyrna Speedway. 17 drivers set to make the call. Starting on the pole, Mr. Scissors in the 76, Jeff Sharp, to his outside the 45 of Benny Ellis.
It's it. Take a look at row 2. It's Adam Shane and the Chief, Steve Hilbert.
Row 3 to the inside, the 06 of Chris Worrell. To the top shelf, the 70 of the Quiet Man, Ruben Altice.
Todd Liston will be alongside the Canadian Goose, John Wilson, in row 4.
The 6 of Kurt Smith lines up to the inside of row 5. To the top shelf, the Lipper in the 93, Chris Hazlett.
As you take a look at row 6, it is James Lowe and Louis Flowers.
Last week's winner, the 36 of Jeffrey Harden, lines up on the inside of row 7 to his outside, the 25 of Tom Hilbert.
And row 8 will have the 7 and the 2 of Lowell Jewell. And look who's behind them. It's the Caveman, Trey Bloom.
And I feel like, with the nickname the Caveman, you almost maybe want to start shotgun on the field here. He maybe almost planned that. But Adam Shane, was there maybe a penalty I missed there? He's starting from the pit.
There's no penalty, so I'm wondering if Shane's going to start from pit road, and looks like Cucumber Kurt Smith might also start from pit road.
Well, maybe they're going to the extreme end, Jeremy, thinking that, we're going to get a caution right away. And they want to make sure that they're not out there in the mix there for the first one.
No, that makes sense. They're pros, and they've seen how practice was running, so I wouldn't be surprised they decided just to start from pit road. But we're lights out of the pace car, so we're going to be running 15 on the track, and 17 hopefully be taking the start.
And James Lowe and Todd Liston, and Jeffrey Harden, boy, they are going to be thankful for those 2 cars sitting on pit road. They're already up 3 and 4 spots from where they were supposed to start, so gets a little easier here for those 2. As we head into turn 3 for the final time, we'll watch the pace car pull down pit road. We'll take a look to that Florida sky. The green flag is high. It's time to watch the rubber fly. 100 laps to play at the new Smyrna Speedway.
Yeah, Worrell already trying to get a jump on Sharp, but it's Sharp and Worrell 1 and 2. The rest of the field working their way out. And yeah, Shane and Smith coming out behind the field. We'll see them exit turn 2, and the rest of the field comes around. Turn 4, there's our first spin of the night. It's the 45, and there's our first caution. Good call.
Yeah, and it's solo car spin. It looked to be like, we'll get a look at this here, but it just looked like maybe Jeremy drove it in a little too hot, got on the brakes heavy and cold tires. Yeah, look, almost got into the back of the 06, and there just kind of drives it too far up the hill. And those tires are ice cold, Jeremy. Can't do that this early.
No, and Tom Hilbert slamming on those brakes at the last second. Of course, Shane and Smith making the smart call and starting from pit road. But either way, our first caution of the night early on in this race.
And it gives these guys a chance to reset here. If they would have another, not that I'm rooting for one here, Jeremy, but I do just kind of have that feeling. Maybe get another one here rather quickly. Who should be our first victim tonight? We won't pull anybody up yet, but who are we eyeballing to pull up next?
I say we talk to Sharpie and see what he has to say about the race early on. Next caution by.
Yeah, as long as, of course, Mr. Scissors doesn't get caught up into that, because I won't rope him into that. Oh, I guess we do still have another lap, but still, yeah, I'm learning the ways here. I guess half mile. Hey, this is a short track, but it's a bigger short track for us. So I'm used to, you know, the caution flags kind of ticking off rather quick, but we will get longer cautions here tonight, I guess.
I fear you're right. Hey, by the way, the track record here back in 2012 by a young Chase Elliott of a 17.231 on the super late model. So these things can haul the mail around the 23 degrees of banking. I don't want to shortchange it by 1 or 2 degrees. It's been a long day.
Man, I couldn't imagine going that quick around this place, man. I might need a new set of underwear after that. That'd be wild. Well, I guarantee it, Jeremy. You wouldn't get those kind of times with me in the driver's seat, maybe in the ride-along seat, you know, sitting beside someone like Chase. Man, I ain't going to pull that time out of it.
Hey, watch Chris Worrell. He's on the outside of row 1. He was getting a little feisty on the initial start. Let's see what it does on the restart.
If he can get a good jump here, wouldn't be surprised to see him pinch the 76 off at 2. But it's all about this restart here as the green flag waves. What a jump for the 76. He can drive it in deep and go up there and shut the door if he so chooses. But he plays nice, keeps it on the bottom. The 06 has a big boy run here, and he's flirting for the lead.
I was going to say, Worrell had that foot firmly in that door jam, but Sharp going to try and keep that door lodged right on that foot. Interested spectator in this one is Todd Liston, sitting there in third. Trying to see what happens here as everybody so far clean and green for 2 laps. The longest run we've had so far this race, but look at that contact between Sharp and Worrell as Worrell goes high up the racetrack, now battles Liston for second place, as those two are battling side by side early on as well.
Yeah, Worrell's not going to like that one bit, but when you put yourself on the outside, you know, you kind of open up the door for that. And I mean, he'll remember that when he gets to the 76 here, if he can get to him before the end of this race. But it's just one of those tough breaks. And now he watches the 99 there of James Lowe roll right on by and already up inside the top 3. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, already up 8 spots so far, and of course another new paint scheme out of James Lowe this week. So I think we might have to start instituting the James pick a scheme and stay with it. But still, the Canadian Goose trying to fly his way high, wide, handsome over Ruben Altice and Steve Hilbert. He's gotten by Altice, but he's trying to close in on the Chief around turns 3 and 4. And now we're starting to see everything hook up. Everybody kind of nice and copacetic as we're working lap 11.
And the Canadian Goose, man, I mean, you mentioned absolutely, he is flying high, and I'm nervous here, Jeremy, because he is driving that thing in deep. He is really using it up. And if you're putting too much wheel into that thing center of the corner while he feels like Superman right now, that cape's going to fall off awful fast. And James Lowe, he just put himself into P2.
That's no surprise, as Todd Liston is your new leader. Oh, that was a little close, as Canadian Goose goes a little high, flies too high from the coupe. But here's that pass for the lead that we mentioned, and it looks like that Sharp just gets a little loose coming off of turn 4. At least he's able to save it. So he loses 2 positions really in 1, with Liston taking the lead. Of course, Liston trying to look for his first win of the season to break up another James Lowe party.
Yeah, you know, it's not fun what he did there, but he did what you absolutely need to do when you get 1 set of tires for 100 laps, and you know those 2 guys behind you are maybe a little bit quicker. So just fall in line, try to learn some tips and tricks here, and just save those right sides. Try to hold on to that podium. I love every bit of what that 76 did there.
Oh, what the heck happened here? Smith and the 25 of Hilbert with a little bit of ta-ta-ta in turns 3 and 4. As we take a look at the replay up high, I have a feeling that this is going to be Hilbert going sideways, and indeed it is. Not sure if there's any sort of, there is a little bit of contact between Smith and Hilbert. You know, since Smith won his championship in the late models, he's just not had the best of luck all throughout either of his championships.
No, and Kurt disconnected there, I can tell you, because I have that screen up. So Kurt has called it quits. We are down to 15 cars, I believe, unless Hilbert decides to come out and play. But right now, Hilbert's still on pit road, and only 15 cars on the lead lap.
Oh, And there goes the Canadian sideways off 3 and 4. Caution is out once again. He's able to save it, and thankfully, if the opening wasn't there, I think we would have had some contact with the fence. So John Wilson saves it from contacting the wall.
Yeah, and that looked like one of those things that, I mean, we've seen this brew in here for the last couple laps. He has been driving it in so deep, and as the right rear starts to give away, you know, it'll just break out loose. And, I mean, good call there, Jeremy. If the wall doesn't spread out there for the little front stretch opening, I mean, he definitely has a bent right rear quarter panel.
Yeah, it would be game over for him, but nonetheless, we are on caution number 2. Yeah, let's bring up Jeff Sharp and talk to us a little bit about the track conditions. Hey, Jeff, it's Jeremy and Shaggy up in the booth. Held the early lead there, but after a while, it seemed like the car liked to go up between 3 and 4.
Yeah, I'm just trying to survive here. The track is pretty slick.
Yeah, that's kind of what I noticed, Jeff, and I know it's not fun to do, man, but, you know, Todd put that pressure on you. You pulled up out of the way and let him in low by. I think that's the smart move in the long run. Have you figured anything out in the few laps you've had behind them?
Just trying to learn behind them. Just trying to stay low and keep it straight.
Well, hey, man, you're looking good in that 76 machine. Hopefully we get to talk to you again. Keep that thing on the podium and keep all the fenders straight, brother. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, sir.
Jeff Sharp, actually, I am in, side note here, Jeremy. I'm in another league that I broadcast in, and, well, I get to race in the late models in that league, and Jeff Sharp, he's the champion. He was our late model champion. He won it Thursday night. So congrats to Jeff on that.
Indeed, it seems like a lot of drivers that we see run different disciplines that come here to the Bootleg Racing League, you know, they think, oh, this is fine. You know, I've won a championship elsewhere, and they don't realize how tough the competition is. And the point I was going to make earlier, they really didn't get a chance to. Now that first of all, the lights are off, Jeff Sharp gets to go to the inside, so he will tuck in behind Todd Liston, barring the fact that James Lowe won't dive down to the bottom. But look at also how close Worrell is on the back at James Lowe. You would think their two dogs find out who's one another.
Yeah, this is, man, I don't know what you do here if you're James. I think you got to go aggressive, and that 06 is sure hoping he does, because he's going to try to follow him around here. Great restart, though, for the 87. Maybe not good enough, though. Right to the outside is James Lowe. He drives it in deep. We got a new leader here coming off at 2.
But I don't think it's going to last very long, as Worrell's going to try and dive to the inside. And indeed, Lowe does get that car around the inside. Now Sharp's going to fall back to 4th as Worrell makes his way up to 3rd place. So your top 5 are all single file. But here comes Louis Flowers. High, wide, and handsome around the outside of Ruben Altis for that 4th spot.
Yeah, I mean, these guys just had the blueprint laid out in front of them there. They watched the 99 do it on the outside. Now you got to try your hand at it. Lewis is going to give it his best shot here. But he's got to make sure he doesn't do what the Canadian Goose did earlier. Don't drive it in so deep. You got to back the corner up, pick the throttle early up. He does that around Ruben Altis like he was sitting still, Jeremy. Oh, we got a car around. Hilbert hard in the wall.
That's the Chief that's hard into the wall, and not sure if that was with help or exactly what happened, but that might be a night ender for Steve Hilbert in the 52. We'll take a look at a replay here, but this is our 3rd caution of the night. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he gets some help here. He's going to get moved off the nose of that 7 machine, and we've seen how loose these cars are. You're not saving that, Jeremy. Getting the nose coming off the corner here out of 4. That's going to be a trouble corner tonight, and it's a tough break. That's pretty much, if it wasn't done, it was done there after the 79 got him, because that was a big shot.
And here's the thing, here at Concord, the loose just happens so quick that, you know, sometimes the car behind you, like you saw there, just cannot back off fast enough to avoid contact, and it's going to happen tonight. Unfortunately, we finally saw it happen, but yeah, you know, it was mentioned early on by Sharp. Look, the track's loose tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, we've seen almost all the spins there in 3 and 4. And like I say, giving a guy some help going into the corner, that's one thing. But coming off right there by that cone, that's going to be a no-no there tonight. And we'll have to see if the boys decide to behave. But we still got another lap to roll around here. How many do we still have? We're down to 14 now on the lead lap with Steve Hilbert and the heavy damage. I would think he's still sitting on pit road. He hasn't given up yet, but that thing, I don't think it's getting fixed within the time limit.
No, I don't think it's going to get fixed within the time limit. Yeah, you make a good point there, and how the contact happened after at the exit of the corner. Look, I do not envy the committee, because I know how hard that they work to keep the racing clean. So we have a good racing series to have here, and the lights are out on the pace car. Yeah, we'll see what happens, see if Hilbert can get that car back out. By the way, brother Tom gets the lucky dog.
So that'll put Tom, I think he's down, what, now 3 laps? So, I mean, at this pace, if he keeps the nose clean, he may get back on the lead lap here if these boys decide to take the gloves off one more time. But the 99, he is the man on restarts. I expect nothing less here. What a jump. And he's going to bring his friend along for the party here. Chris Worrell right away battling for second. Does Liston put the hammer down off the 2? He does. They touch. They bang. The 87 not giving an inch there. Drives it in deep again. Chris trying to shove the nose, though, Jeremy. Not going to get there.
Yeah, Worrell came up on Liston like he wasn't even there. That was an interesting move off of turn number 2, but either way, Liston able to make that high line work for him. You see Sharp and Altice battling for 5th place, and right behind him is last week's winner, Jeffrey Harden. You're seeing that single file play up. By the way, there's Detroit Bloom trying to work his way into the iRacing NASCAR atmosphere, as he's doing quite well. He mentioned that he was up in the upper half of those drivers who were trying to get themselves qualified for, I think it was the NASCAR E. O'Reilly's version, I believe.
Oh, nice. Honestly, I didn't know anything about that. That cool. I wish Trey the best on that. That'd be awesome, man. I had a friend who ran some Pro Series, and it's fun, man, but it gets stressful, Jeremy. You gotta put a lot of time in for that stuff.
Well, he's got plenty of time now. Actually, he's 211th in the standings. Says he's ahead of Raja Caruth. Truck part of the qualifying ladder's over. Now the O'Reilly car hope to climb steadily. Been racing with Hocevar in the practice lobby, so he's getting a lot of good practice. And of course, speaking of good practice, here's Flowers, who's sitting in 3rd place. You also have Shane. Looks like he may have slapped the wall slow off of turn number 2, turn number 2, as you're seeing bent rear end. Let's see what happened in the replay here.
Ooh.
As Shane ending his night.
Jeff Sharp just had a nice slide, boys. He keeps it straight. I don't know how he kept it off going down pit road. As you see there, the 79 just coming to that stop there. He didn't hit it too hard if he got it. I'm wondering what's going on there.
Well, he's got some sort of rear end damage. He had contact with somebody, but we'll see if he gets back out there. And of course, Hilbert now officially out of the race. So Shane in the pits. Steve Hilbert, Tom Hilbert, I should say, now has gotten ahead of him. So he will be next. Car, there's Flowers going around. Nice save it. Oh, he goes right, almost hits the wall. And just like that, another caution. And that turn 4 shutout saves another car from damage.
Man, these cars, I'm telling you, I mean, got to give Ryan credit for that one. He's saying it's like 6 wrecks in 1, and it really is. I mean, let's be honest, guys. I mean, if I do that on my local track, I'm not going to say I wreck. I mean, I'm considering that a save, man. I think that's what I'm going to call it there. Yeah, the caution flag flies, but as Ryan mentioned, I mean, he should have wrecked there 6 or 7 times, Jeremy. That's unbelievable that thing didn't touch the wall.
Yeah, well, let's watch it from inside as you see how, look, he's doing at least 2 revolutions, 3 revolutions just to save it. He was every which way but sideways at this point, but maybe even sideways. But either way, Flowers with, I would say, right now, the save of the season.
Yeah, and you know, you want to. You really do, Jeremy. You want to pat yourself on the back. You want to say, man, I just saved that thing. What an awesome job. But then you remember, I got to drive this set of tires the rest of the way, and we got 60 laps to go. I mean, sliding like that can't be good for the sneakers, Jeremy.
No, it can't. By the way, you've got two cars in the pits. Jeff Sharp comes out of the pits as Tom Hilbert still gets the lucky dog. So we're just a couple of laps, if not a lap away from the lights going out on the pace car. And yeah, that was absolutely fantastic to see. You know, it was almost like Tokyo Drift, except in Central Florida. So, you know, can we say it was the hillbilly version?
I think Fast and Furious 2 was filmed in Florida, though, so you know it's close enough. At least one of the franchise movies, because I know that famous shop where he gets that tuna sandwich. You know, where he loves the tuna sandwich. That's down there in Florida. So you know, I mean, we're close enough. We should get the 1 to green this time by. If you're listening here, Jeremy, you almost. I mean, obviously you can't cheat. I'm not encouraging cheating. But you almost got to try to time this, right? And jump it and try to give the 99 a taste of his own medicine, how he got you on the outside before you were up to speed.
Yeah, but, you know, here's the thing about James Lowe. He's not going to take the same restart twice, so it's hard to gauge when he's going to do it. Honestly, if I'm listening, I'm going when Lowe's going, and I'm just holding the throttle wide open. By the way, look at who's made his way up to fourth. Quietly, once again, it's Ruben Altice.
Yeah, and I mean, right behind him, that's the biggest mover of the race, up 11, the Caveman. We've talked about him a couple times. You got to keep your eye out on that 32 if he can get a good start. Oh, Lowe spun the tires. Rear end almost jumped around the 87s there, but Liston, he's not going to drive. Yes, he does. He's got the nose to the outside. Is Lowe going to give him the space? Gives him enough. Liston drives it in deep, but man, he misses his mark in the center of the corner. And James Lowe, clear.
I'll tell you what, Ruben's happy he flashed on that restart because all eyes were on Lowe and his spin in the tires. For the most part, we are single file all the way back to at least, basically the whole field now single file, taking that down low. So we're starting to see the tires start to wear out on a lot of these cars as Flowers tries to work his way back up through the field. He's going to get around Benny Ellison for 10th as now sets the sights on John Wilson as Sharp comes out of the pits.
Yeah, and you see there coming out of the pits, he's a lap down now. He's P13, so right now if you stay on the lead lap, you're going to hit the invert next week. I mean, Sharp, he's going to have to hold Steve Hilbert off, and really they're going to be battling for the lucky dog now, so that's going to be something. We're going to have to keep our eye on those race cars, what points they are on the racetrack if a caution would fly.
And of course, now that a little bit of handling issues looks like out of the 75 at Wilson, so Flowers going to go around the inside, keep Wilson up high. Also take a look, Benny Ellison wants to get involved in this as well, so Flowers gets around Wilson for position.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a coincidence here, Jeremy, that some of the cars that are starting to struggle, as you see the Caveman take a peek on the bottom here, some of the cars that are struggling are some of the guys that went to the outside real early and were driving into the corner so deep that I knew, you know, I'd mentioned I'd be worried about it. I didn't know it would affect them this early on. We just got to halfway here, or we're going to get there this time by.
First battle for third heats up between one of those drivers. Let's go high. Oh, look at that! Oh, talk about a fantastic move out of Altice. It's like he just... World just like dropped his anchor there. That was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at that, it doesn't look like World really backed up the corner any more than normal. I mean, Altice, he just wanted it, and he went out there and took it, Jeremy. He's 1.1 off the leaders here. Plenty of time to go. But he's got one guy to get to here before he can battle for the lead, and that's Todd Liston, who, as you can see there, he just clipped the wall coming out of 4. It wasn't a lot. But as I always say, Jeremy, that's not going to get better as the race goes.
No, it's not going to get better because those Hoosiers are going to be eaten up. The more that he does those slides off of turn 4, and the person that's going to be loving this is going to be the quiet man, Ruben Altice, sitting there in 3rd place. But he's also, but listen, also got to worry about the leader, James Lowe. There's one thing I'm noticing that we don't normally see out of anyone trying to battle James. Oh, that was a little bit of a wiggle out of Altice. There may be problems for the 70s. Chris Worrell dives to the inside. He's going to reel him in once again, and Worrell's going to plant himself down low, and those two are almost leaning on each other to go through turn number 2. But back to my point, look at how close Liston is to Lowe. You don't see that out of many people, and Liston, I think, has finally found that magic combination.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, though, you know, I mean, I'm sure Lowe, it's not going to be as much as if we were at a bigger racetrack, but Lowe's happy to take that downforce off the nose of Liston. If Liston wants to run that close, by all means, he'll let him. And the thing that I like about Lowe is he lets him get there, and then he pulls away a little bit. You can see, you know, lets the spool out on the fishing rod, and then he lets him reel him back in again. And it's just a game of cat and mouse out there out front.
It really is, and I think that that's going to be interesting to see how that develops. The lead there has grown by double at least, but Altice, for what it's worth, has lost a second also on this lead pack, but Worrell really knocking on the door. You also have Trey Bloom not too far away either, so Bloom, if these two decide to battle each other tight enough and they somehow get involved in some sort of scrap, watch out, the caveman's going to leapfrog his way into 3rd, I think.
Ding, ding, ding. He's just making the grass right now. He is just laying there in the weeds. You see the 06 right ahead. He got a little bit loose coming off of 2. But, man, he kept that thing pinned, only lost about a half a tenth to Altice. Worrell and Altice are both really starting to struggle there, and I don't know if it showed up on Ryan's camera. Ryan, did you guys see the front bumper just roll down the racetrack, or was that my iRacing? That was awesome.
We've been seeing a lot of that over the past couple of weeks with front bumpers just going.
Click on Liston. Is he missing the nose? Yes, he is.
He is.
So he clipped the wall there coming out of 4, I guess, right in front of those guys. And, well, I mean, oh my gosh, if he brings this thing home on the podium, I've seen it all.
Oh, what a shame. Look at how much he's losing. He's lost about 0.3 of a second already to James Lowe time-wise, but look who's just hopped on to the battle for 3rd. It's Trey Bloom, and like he said, you've got the 70 and the 06 are both a little slippy there through the corners. The more we get into this race, Trey Bloom may be able to capitalize on this.
Yeah, and let's be honest, them watching that 87 smack the wall is going to make those cars slide around that much more because they want to go. I mean, there was a time where, you know, Altice not going to count himself out, but I mean, let's be honest, he's racing for 3rd. He's just trying to hold his own. Now that 87, he slaps the wall again. Man, that thing is loose as a goose here. Good luck here for the next 35 laps.
Yeah, 35 laps on a half-mile circuit is a mighty long time. They're all going to want to go for some sort of yellow. And Altice, he closed in like nothing else. Really pounced down the back of Liston, but Liston able to shut the front door on him, coming through 2, as now Altice tries to size up a battle here for that 2nd spot, and Worrell falling into the clutches of Trey Bloom for 4th as well.
Problem's going to be here. Liston's really backing up those corners. You can see Altice now. He really had to back it up. Worrell's right there. Altice is going to have to make the move, send it in here deep, or he's got to get to the outside. Finally gets underneath, and I don't think Liston is going to be able to put up a fight like he thinks he is. He can't see that his whole front nose is gone. I mean, unless he's got a live spot or somebody feeding him that, he thinks he just clipped the wall, and man, that thing, it's stuck in the mud right now, Jeremy.
No, he's got to feel something's wrong with it because he wouldn't be dropping back as much as he is without it. He's running about 0.6 of a second slower than he has all race by just missing that front clip. Think of that. That's how much aerodynamics you lose when you have something that big missing from your front end.
Yeah, man, that's something that, you know, I think P4, I would almost think, Jeremy, if a caution flag flew right now, I think Liston, he's got to stay where he is. I mean, wouldn't that be too much track position to give up, even to come in and try to fix that nose?
No, I'd stay out there. There's no reason why you don't stay out there and gamble, especially with about 30 to go. As you see Flowers trying to look to the inside of the lipper, Chris Hazlip. But yeah, you just stay out there. What's the worst that's going to happen? It's not like you're going to get black flag for not having a front clip.
Let's see here. How patient does the caveman get? I mean, he doesn't want to. Oh, the 36. Oh, I mean, come on. That's the best pit road entry I've ever seen.
I don't know that you know, we might have two saves of the season here, because that was absolutely fantastic. Last week's winner with an awesome save. Now you see Trey Bloom trying to close in on our early race leader, Todd Liston. Not going to be able to do it, and that's kind of weird, because here's the thing. Bloom's car is just hooked up. It's been hooked up all race long, but he just cannot get around Liston.
No, and I just think it's that, you know, he was one of those guys that went to the outside earlier, and we saw, well, Altice, he committed to the bottom, and it took him a while to get underneath that 87. There it looked like the 32 thought about going high, but then saw the 7 of Davis up there and backed it up. I think if you're the caveman, once again, I mean, you've got to get to the outside here. You're losing so much time. I mean, Chris Worrell, you can barely see him there off the nose. He's a good, 20 car lengths up the road.
I don't know. Bloom almost had him there in turn 2. Now he's going to try the high side once again. By the way, I want to say hey to Mike Rigney watching us, as well as Aunt Mary Alice. And there goes Bloom to the inside. Finally was able to get around Liston, but Liston has something to say about it. He pokes that nose up front. So Liston, he's not so good in 1 and 2, but for some reason, 3 and 4, well, now 3 and 4 seems to also be his Achilles heel. As I go side by side down the front straightaway, Liston just cannot hold it in the corners. I think that's the byproduct of losing that front clip.
Yeah, but he's doing such a good job there, backing up the corners. I mean, you can see the caveman making a lot up on entry, but Liston nailing that exit on the top shelf. And that's why I say earlier, I think if you're the 32, you gotta, and there he goes, he drives it in deep. You gotta practice this a couple laps. Drive it in deep on the outside. Try to run that cut down, come with a big head of steam. He does it again, gonna peek up on the top shelf and gonna run that cut down. Here he comes. He has got to send this thing in this time.
Yeah, that's exactly what Trey needs to do. And unfortunately, he's just pinched right down to the bottom. So he's very limited on how he can send it. You don't want to send it too hard, or else you're going to end up with two wrecked race cars instead of just one around the corner. And that's where Liston knows he's just oh so good. I'm sure after the race he's going to know that he's not going to have a front clip. But here they go, side by side through 1 and 2 once again. Trey gets the nose. Now he's got to get on the gas a little bit earlier. Not able to do it just yet. I think if they could stay side by side through 3 and 4, that Trey's just going to get a good bite. He's blinking. But okay, he's up to 4th.
What a magic trick. I mean, you got to think he did that on purpose. You know, maybe freak out the 87, disappear real quick. I mean, he couldn't have timed that any better. Now he gets the run off the outside, but you saw he almost kissed the outside wall. He had to lift. He's got to clear the 87 here, shut the door. He does. Now he should be able to drop the sails here, boys.
Yeah, but unfortunately, unless something happens to Altice and or Worrell, it's going to be all for naught, because those 3 have just, they've started to just run away from the rest of the field for that top 3 position, as you see them getting around hard in last week's winner. And this has just been a race of attrition for a lot of these drivers. You see 3 drivers out. We were running 10 on the lead lap with Wilson. The next car threatened to be 1 lap down, but still plenty of time left. As you see the 45 of Benny Elson trying to go around the race and rev high, wide, and handsome. But he after that first lap spin, he just has not been able to keep that car at least planted down on the bottom.
No, and I mean, right now, the Lipper in the 93, not really making any mistakes there in front. He's been pretty firm on the bottom here. So unless the 45 goes up here and moves him out of the way, or is willing to tinker with the high side again, I think his fate may be sealed. As you see the Lipper go by Davis. As Jeremy mentioned, Davis is a lap down, so not for position here. But now it is interesting. Those 3 cars, as Lowell kind of popped on the screen there for a minute. But, and you go back to John Wilson. I mean, those 4, they are all for position pretty close here, but spaced out enough that, you know, without a mistake out of one of them, I don't know if we're going to see positions flop.
No, I don't think we're going to see positions flop, as this is actually for position, as a 76, who was your pole sitter, still sitting there in 13th. And if I'm Jeff Sharp, I'm sitting there and staying in 13th. That way I know that I'm guaranteed at least the pole, but he decides to go around the outside and get 12. So he still can get a front row start.
Yeah, as you mentioned, though, I mean, he was up, what, 7, 8 spots last week in the standings, I think. You know, he doesn't want to see that red arrow. He don't want to see a down arrow next to his name. He's got to muster as many points tonight as he can, even though it's already been a tough night. But I had mentioned, you know, I didn't think any of those positions would swap. Benny Ellison, he's got a different frame of mind here. I mean, look, he is all over the back of the 93. But as we say, Jeremy, it's one thing to catch a guy. It's another thing to pass him.
And I think if there was an award for most improved driver, it'd have to go to Hazlett this season, because, you know, look, you know, he had a pair of top 5s last weekend. He's sitting there pretty in 7th place, and a lot of it has to do to attrition, but either way, he's still trying to hold his own line. As you see Benny Ellison dive to the inside, half the car is onto the flat, so he's really aggressively trying to get around him, and indeed he gets that position for the time being, but we'll see if that can last.
Yeah, Hazlett didn't give him a lot of room there. He played nice, and probably a lot nicer than I would have played. He didn't move him up the racetrack at all. Instead, you mentioned, kind of went down to the apron and made sure he gave him plenty of room here. But Liston, I thought maybe he was going to be able to hold on to the top 5, Jeremy, but here comes Lewis Flowers, and man, he sees that wounded duck right out the windshield.
Yeah, it's an injured duck right there in the 87. As Flowers trying to see if he can improve one position, get inside that top 5. So this is a great battle here with Flowers. I've got to say, he's up, what, 6 positions so far? He's going to be 7 here once he gets into 5th place. So a great race from Lewis as he's been doing quite well so far and really adapting to these super late models.
No, and you can see, I mean, obviously Liston knows now, hey, race car's not handling the best, and we're not going to defend P5 the same way we were the bottom step of the podium. So hats off to Liston. Just keep the tires under you. Try to bring this thing home and don't let it get any worse than 6th. But, man, Benny Ellison, he is coming, and he's got 6 laps to catch him.
And 5 laps now as they come across the line. But I don't know if that's really going to happen here in that battle for position. But it all depends on how slow Liston is compared. 0.3 of a second, he might, but James Lowe all by himself. He's in Daytona Beach, while the rest of the field's here in New Smyrna. And really, I guess the big question I've got to ask Shaggy is there anybody that can really stop the dominance of James Lowe? Yeah, we've had 2 other winners other than James Lowe, but still, it seems like those are the times when James Lowe just runs into problems of somebody else's misfortune.
Sound the J.R. Shepherd alarm, Jeremy. That is the only man I know who could dethrone this king. I don't know if, you know, we could get him back. I mean, maybe I offer him my pay to come race. Who knows? We'll have to see. But there's 1 mile left to go for that 99. 2 laps left to play. He is 3.2 seconds up the road, and man, what, we're in race number 8. He is about to go 6 for 8. I mean, 75%, Jeremy. That's unheard of. Oh,
not if you're James Lowe's. Ellison dives into the grass and saves it.
And he did, man. He caught Liston, tried to make the move, but couldn't make it stick, got loose, and James Lowe rolls off a 4 for the final time. He collects win number 6 at the new Smyrna Speedway. The quiet man, Ruben Altice, P2, and Chris Worrell rounds out the podium. Jeremy, we had our slip and slides that we kind of predicted in that first half of the race, but man, they settled down and we got quite a sprint to the finish.
Oh, we had one hell of a sprint to the finish. It was absolutely fantastic to see Flowers get into that 5th spot. But yeah, Ellison unfortunately could not hold on to 6th. Liston, really, with a battered race car to finish 6th, absolutely fantastic.
Parks it in the breast cancer awareness umbrella victory lane. And, well, we take a quick break here at the Virtual Grip Network, and we'll be right back with the rundown of your full field and interviews with your top 3. Stick around. We are back live on the Virtual Grip Network, where Jeremy Jameslow stands at the top once again. I don't know what I got to do. I don't even know if, he's technically in here anymore, but I'm going to have to beg JR to maybe show up here one of these last couple weeks.
Well, we see him in our pictures at the end of each race, so... well, you know what? It might be time to beg, borrow, and steal, because I think having JR come in might be a little fun. Might get soup here in the booth.
Let's go ahead. Let's take up that. Or take up that. There we go, Ryan. You knew what I was trying to say. James Lowe bringing home the win in that 99 machine. Once again, 6 for 8. 75%. Unbelievable. Ruben Altice. P2, Chris Worrell rounds out the podium. The Caveman, Trey Bloom. 4th, Lewis Flowers rounds out the top 5. Todd Liston P6, Benny Ellison 7th, Chris Hazlip 8th, the boss man Lowell Jewell 9th, and John Wilson, the final car on the lead lap, brings it home P10.
As you take a look at 11th, it's Jeffrey Harden. 12th is Jeff Sharp. 13th, the 7 car will be your pole sitter alongside the 76. And it's Tom Hilbert, Adam Shane, Steve Hilbert, Kurt Smith.
Well, let's go ahead. We won't waste any time. Let's bring up that driver of the 06, Chris Worrell, and we'll try to get a word with him. Chris, Shaggy in the booth, man. You got a copy? Let's see here. Chris, Shaggy in the booth, brother. You got a copy?
That was a good race, and we slid all over the place like Hellman's. It's such a great mayonnaise there, and I gotta say, Shaggy, I can't be more excited. Hopefully, we'll be slipping our way into the top one tomorrow night.
I saw him. Yeah, he's clicking the button. No mic though. He's not hearing anything. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll get it fixed. Yeah, hopefully he'll get it fixed for next week. We won't. We'll talk to him again soon. Chris is a common staple here on the podium, but we won't change the order here. You got the man in P2, Jeremy. Who you got?
The quiet man making his way up 4 spots up to second. Ruben, bud, that was you. We saw some fantastic moves out of you tonight. Congratulations.
Hey, I appreciate that. This was a fun race and a tough race. It was like it all the track down before it started, man. It was hard in every turn. It was just a battle.
Well, and let's talk about that because we talked to Jeff Sharp, and he said the track was just greasy tonight. What was it like from your perspective?
Yeah, the same way. I mean, you could go in one time and it'd stick, and next time it was just like you'd hit a oil slick and you'd head up the track and hopefully it didn't turn all the way around with you.
Well, either way, it was a fantastic run tomorrow night. You get the late models here. What are you looking forward to most about that?
I love the late models. That's pretty much one of my favorite cars now. I look forward to that. And while I'm thinking about it, I want to thank SteelCraft Structures for sponsoring us. They're a great sponsor, and loyal to BRL for putting this on every week, and Virtual Grip Networks for broadcasting.
If we can make it 2 for 2 to get you on the podium tomorrow night. Good luck.
Thank you all. Y'all have a good night.
Ruben Altice finishing off in second place. I'm curious to see what James Lowe has to say because that's the second straight driver that we heard that said, yeah, the track is greasy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. I don't know how greasy it was for this man, James Lowe. It's Shaggy. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
I'll tell you what, man. I mean, obviously, I'm going to ask you about the track conditions, but if you lie to me here after the move I saw you make, I'm going to call you out on it because you nailed that restart, brother, when you were P2. And for you to send it in like that when the tires were still cold, into turns 1 and 2, I mean, how much, did that take? I mean, that was a big boy move for the lead, James.
Yeah, I mean, on these restarts, if you're beside somebody coming down the front stretch, you gotta kind of go for it. So we dove it in there. It stuck fairly decent. I think we were both loose, but I was able to come out on top there and just kind of ride the rest of the race. That was really about the only lap that I really ran hard. So I was just kind of riding from there, trying not to get loose and wreck myself.
Now, that being said, I want to say it was about maybe 2-3 restarts later. It was the final restart where you kind of spun the tires coming out of 4, man. I saw that thing get squirrely, and I believe that was Liston, at the time before he got damaged. He had got to your outside. I mean, were you nervous that, you gave him the playbook? Did you think he was going to throw it back on you there?
Yeah, it's always a possibility. I got a little shot in the back there. got me a little squirrely there at the start, but yeah, I knew as long as I could just drive a fairly straight line down low there, I'd come out on top. So I was just hoping for the best, but overall it was a really fun race, and I thought Todd had something for us, but I guess he nicked the wall or something and it destroyed his car for some reason, and from there I just kind of rode.
Yeah, I was going to say, James, From what we saw, I saw a front bumper skirt across the infield there. He had no front nose clip, so I don't know about how light of a tap that was, but man, definitely affected that race car from there on out. But I think either way, James, you don't have to say it. I'll say it for you. I think you were playing a little bit of games with him. You'd let him reel you in, and then you'd pull back away when you know you had it to go. And in classic James Lowe fashion, man, 3.5 second win tonight. Congratulations. Who you want to thank, brother?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'd like to thank Mary Alice for coming in and watching like always. You guys for broadcasting, Lowell for putting all this on, and SteelCraft Structures for sponsoring us so we can broadcast these things. Really appreciate them.
Well, hey, congratulations, man. 6 of 8 so far on the year. Good luck next weekend, brother. We'll be rooting for you.
Appreciate it.
James Lowe bringing home the W here in Florida. And Jeremy, we tried to warn everybody. We watched practice. We knew there were going to be cautions in the beginning. But as I'd mentioned earlier, that thing, what a race there to the finish. We saw battling literally up until the caution or the checkered flag flew there when Ellison got loose under Liston. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Well, and I thought there was going to be more because, and it's not to say, not to knock any of the drivers, but it seemed like that everybody was having a rough go of it at practice. So, look, kudos to the rest of the guys. We only had 4 cautions, one big multi-vehicle incident. So we'll see what happens, but either way, tomorrow night should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, speaking of tomorrow night, great lead-in. Slap it up, Ryan. Tomorrow night, we're back here at the new Smyrna Speedway. You can listen to Jeremy and our man, Soup. What do you expect tomorrow night after what you saw tonight?
I hope not as many spins, but if it's anything to go on, I'm already picking my winner. I think it's going to be the Quiet Man.
Well, if you like the sound of my voice and want to hear me again, I'm back with Ryan Sunday night, 9 o'clock at the old Atlanta Motor Speedway. None of that Echo Park BS that we were talking about earlier. I mean, this is old school Atlanta. You're going to have to lift, possibly use the brakes here as the tires start to age in that Gen 4 car. It is going to be a fun ride, but you know what, boys? That's going to wrap it up tonight for the Bootleg Racing League SteelCraft Structures Super Late Model Series. I'd like to thank my partner in the back, Jeremy Scott. My partner not in the back. Jeremy sat up right up here beside me. Ryan's the one in the back. He's the dude in the back. And we want to thank all of you for tuning in here at the Virtual Grip Network. Have a good night.